I want to turn to the news of the star NFL wide receiver Antonio Brown. After being wrapped up in controversy over the past several weeks, he's now being accused of rape. In a new lawsuit, he denies the accusations. The star wide had just signed with the New England Patriots. Bill Reiter, host of Reiter's Block on CBS Sports HQ, joins me now from L.A. So, Bill, the NFL is reportedly considering putting Brown on the commissioner's exempt list. What exactly is that?
So it's a special designation, as the name suggests, that only the commissioner can assign to a player that, in effect, suspends the player from a team, allows him to collect pay, and for the team involved, does not take up one of their roster spots. The Patriots, in this case, or any other team, it's been used before, going back to Adrian Peterson several years ago in their accusations about him involving the treatment of his son, that allows the commissioner to, in effect, freeze a player's status while he still gets paid, and an investigation or a public relations concern, in this case, obviously both, can be conducted by the league. We don't know if it's going to happen, but it certainly has been the protocol for the NFL in situations like this one.
Bill, when you look at the NFL's history, they really give out these inconsistent punishments to players accused of abuse. How's the league going to navigate this matter?
Yeah, that is, in Antonio Brown's case, literally the $15 million question. It's a huge question for the Patriots and for the league. And as you can imagine, people are lining up on both sides of this thing. Victims of sexual assault are looking to the NFL to do the right thing. In the past, the league has not done that. And there are certainly folks who want to see Antonio Brown out there. We'll point to Ezekiel Elliott, the running back for the Cowboys, who a lot of supporters still suggest was falsely accused of battery. We just don't know. It's obviously a quickly developing story, but Antonio Brown did practice today with the Patriots. He wore the number 1, so it's one day, but at least for the moment, he is still a current NFL player.
I want to say the Patriots did release a statement last night after the lawsuit was filed. I want to read for you what it says in part. We take these allegations very seriously. Under no circumstances this organization condones sexual violence or assault. Head coach Bill Belichick was asked about this today. Here's what he said.
Bill, are you aware of the lawsuit when you signed Antonio Brown?
I'm not going to be expanding on the statements that have already been given.
Don't you think the fans deserve to hear a little more from you on
When we know more, we'll say more.
That could impact the team?
Yeah, I just said that.
Don't you think fans deserve to hear a little bit more?
When we know more, we'll say more.
Are you preparing to have Antonio Brown practice today?
Yes.
And are you preparing for him to play on Sunday?
We're taking it one day at a time, just like we always do.
Are you preparing?
One day at a time. He wasn't going to go there, Bill. So what position does this put Belichick in?
Yeah, it's a difficult one, and if the Patriots did not know, if Bill Belichick and his organization did not know, they probably should have. Antonio Brown's agent just a few hours ago said in a media interview that he and Antonio Brown, the agent Antonio Brown, were aware of this situation. We've seen some very untoward text messages have been released. Obviously, Antonio Brown has been accused of this crime, and he has responded through his attorney saying it's not true. But this wasn't something, it sounds like, that came out of the blue for Antonio Brown. If the Patriots didn't know, they certainly should have. And the fact, and look, I don't have a lot of sympathy for the Patriots in a situation like this, and I don't know, nobody knows whether Antonio Brown is guilty of sexual assault or has been falsely accused. It's one of the two. But it's certainly an unenviable situation for the Patriots because they also don't know the answer to that question, and how they proceed going forward, when we look back with hindsight, could reflect very poorly on them if they make the wrong decision.
Yeah, you're certainly right. Bill, I sat down with former Patriots star Rob Gronkowski yesterday. I asked him about how he feels about his old team signing Antonio Brown, given his recent clash with management with the Oakland Raiders. However, I do want to point out, when I sat down with Gronk, this happened before the news of the sexual assault allegations broke. But here's what he had to say about Antonio Brown. Do you think that Antonio Brown can put away his individual self for the good of the team going forward?
It's a great organization there, and Coach Belichick has dealt with this many times. In this
Do you think
situation.
Belichick will put him in check?
I mean, I would say it's up to Antonio Brown on how he wants to go with this situation, and that's the only advice I can give. I mean, if you want to win, it's a winning environment. If you want to go in and do your job, that's what you need to do. And it's up to Antonio on however he wants to go in and present himself. So that's all I can give on advice.
So, but when you look at this, how much do you think of Antonio Brown's past, his conduct, his behavior, will the league look into when they move forward on these sexual assault allegations?
Yeah, I certainly think that the fairly toxic mix, as you referenced, the fact the NFL has not handled some of these situations well, to say the least, in the past, the fact that Antonio Brown, and not allegations of criminal activity like we have now, but has not been a particularly ready and able and happy teammate, though the reputation he brings to the table, it's going to impact the Patriots and the NFL's perspective. I'll say this too, obviously if the guy is guilty and we just don't know, he shouldn't play in the National Football League. Whatever the case, Antonio Brown is facing the loss of tens of millions of dollars. Already left a lot of money on the table with the Raiders, so I would imagine whatever the status of the truth of this thing, as the investigation and more details come out, he is going to fight Antonio Brown like hell to try and remain a Patriot. And I think one of the big questions will be, depending on what happens, how much pain do the Patriots want to take? How much of a PR hit do they want to take? What else is going to come out to maybe shed some light on what actually happened that allows the Patriots to make a decision one way or the other?
All right, Bill Reiter, thanks so much for joining us, Bill.